What's good, everyone? Take Casey back here with another wrestling review. Today we're going to review New Japan's Sakura Genesis from April 5th, 2025. Our opening contest was Yuya Uemura versus Sanada. These two opened the show in a bit of a holding pattern feud. Yuya was named the future ace of Hontai, and Sanada betrayed the now subgroup of just four guys, led by Yuya, by defecting to Wardogs. Yuya already got the win in the New Japan Cup, but I guess he needed to win outside of the tournament to prove he was truly better. I'm a bit of a Sanada hater, but he largely played the hits here and didn't overstay his welcome. Nothing special here, but it accomplished everything it needed to without ever getting boring. I'll take that as a major win. This was a 2.5-star match. Match 2, New Japan Pro Wrestling World Television Champion LP defending against the Great Okan. This TV title match was between two wrestlers I'm pretty hot and cold on. LP is always on the cusp of being enjoyable to me, but I've never been anything but lukewarm on him. I really liked Okan's G1 run last year, but I haven't cared for him prior or since then. The scoop slam Okan did to ELP across the barricade I really liked. ELP was all taped up around his neck, so after that scoop slam, he really went in heavy on selling weakness due to his injury. Once the tape came off, ELP was seemingly healed and took control of the match, delivering a lot of his signature spots. Okan had set up some chairs on the outside previously, and in a last-ditch effort, he lured ELP outside and pile drove him on the chairs to win the match and the belt by count out. Woof. This was 2.5 stars, and that might be too high. Match 3, Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Shota Umino. Two of the major players of 2025 New Japan that have struggled mightily this year for different reasons clash in this match. Tanahashi's knees are spent here in the last year of his career, and Shota went straight for them. Shota's intensity left a lot to be desired, but the final third of the match, he finally found the juice. I thought this was actually pretty good in the closing stretches. I gave this match 3 stars. Match 4, Never Openweight 6-Man Tag Team Championships, the House of Torture defending against the Wardogs. Like all these matches, we start quick with a lot of crowd brawling. Ishimori and Kid kick us off with triangle moonsaults, which looked really good. Once this is in the ring, it remains a bit chaotic with trading tag team spots. Nothing much of note in that sequence besides a nice doomsday device from Jilla and Kid. Not long after that, we get the House of Torture ref bump spot, and Sanada predictably flipped on Wardogs and joined the House of Torture. This was just an angle spot, and not really a match. I gave this 2 stars. Match 5, Never Openweight Championship match, Konosuke Takeshita defending against Oiwa. This was the first highly anticipated undercard match of the show, and maybe the most anticipated match on the entire show. Takeshita hit a brutal running boot after whipping Oiwa into the barricade. Oiwa would then lock in an arm lock so well that he maintained it even through a Takeshita scoop slamming him. These two found their way to the top rope, which led to a massive superplex. Following this, we got a barrage of great-looking power offense from both men. Oiwa showed his fighting spirit, even nearly winning a forearm off with soup, but Takeshita ultimately won the sequence and then the match following his finisher. This was our first really good match on the show. I went 3.5 stars here, and I could see going even higher if I was a bit more locked in. Match 6, IWGP Tag Team Championship, Tetsuya Naito and Hiromu Takahashi defending against Jeff Cobb and Callum Newman. Hiromu and Callum start off with some really quick junior work before Cobb and Naito cycle in to slow it down and add some more heavyweight type offense. Takahashi and Naito both hit some good looking DDTs on Cobb, and Naito hit maybe his cleanest Destino of the year on Newman for a 2. The closing sequence here saw Cobb hit each of his opponents with the Tour of the Islands, but not before Naito countered the first attempt into a Destino. United Empire's tag finishing move looked really good, and Newman scored the win and his first title in New Japan over Naito. The IWGP tag belts are showing to be very difficult to defend in 2025, and the United Empire went 2-0 on the show, with Templario lined up as the next junior heavyweight challenger as well. I gave this match 3.25 stars. I thought this was good and fun, but it felt pretty rushed all the way through. IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship, Tsuji defending against Evil. This match was all nonsense. Evil claimed he was going to wrestle this match clean, but jumped Tsuji during the entrance. Only it wasn't Tsuji, but his smaller twin brother. House of Torture went full House of Torture throughout here. Anytime Tsuji gained momentum, they would attack his brother as a distraction. Evil would do leg work early to stall Tsuji's offense and playbook heel tactics throughout the rest of the match. Lots of interference, lots of dick kicks, very little actual wrestling. We went to Costco after the Umino match and I got an F1 Lego set, so I built that during this match because all Evil matches are the same. Eventually, once the Lego set was complete, Evil had run out of nonsense to do, or so I had thought. But the final third or so at least featured some traditional wrestling sequences. What saved this match was how hot the crowd was for it throughout. While I don't care, it's clearly working in the building. A second Gene Blaster thankfully ends this. I'll go 3 stars on this, mostly for the crowd and for House of Torture being so predictable. I extracurriculared my way to a good time. Main event, Hiromu Goto defending the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship against David Finlay. David Finlay earned this shot by winning the New Japan Cup. Following a strong Wrestle Kingdom and Dynasty showing, he felt like the odds-on favorite to win that tournament and the title here. Opposite him is Hiromu Goto, the longtime bridesmaid who finally climbed the mountain back in February. When you are a champion like Goto, you always feel like a placeholder and the underdog, and Goto wore this tonight as he came in very strong and took it right to Finlay, clearly overwhelming him early. Finlay clawed his way back into this, but it was Goto in firm control here early on. Goto countered a powerbomb into the steel post with a Hurricane Rana, and Finlay looked like he gave himself a shoot concussion. Eventually, the fighting in a phone booth catches up with Goto, and this style suits Finlay more, so he gains control. Finlay hit a series of lariats, crossfaces, and a dominator, which is what he does best. Too much taunting of Goto's children costs Finlay as he gets Death Valley drived through 2 tables on the outside. I thought the opening of this match was great, but post that table spot is when this match really kicks into overdrive. The snap on Finlay's signature spots is excellent. Goto would not be denied and hit 3 GTRs to retain and keep the dream run going. This was 4.5 stars. I thought this match was fantastic. Overall, this show was much heavier in setting up the year than just an outstanding standalone show. The undercard all played into future directions of the company, as Yuya skipped over Shota as the new future leader of Hontai, which led to Shota leaving Hontai. Sanada lost his rivalry with former stablemate Yuya, and used that as a reason to jump ship again to House of Torture. The Wardogs walk out empty-handed after being favored in both their title matches, and Evil came up short as well. This is leading to what sounds like a sequel of last year's War Games match. A major faction reshuffle is brewing under the surface right now, but so far Goto and Hontai remain on top of the company. Windy City Riot is right around the corner, where Umino will try to prove Tanahashi and Hontai wrong by winning the belt in Chicago. You had probably 2 great matches on this show. I need to rewatch the Takeshita match as I think I'm a bit too low on it. Nothing was truly bad on this show, as nothing overstayed its welcome. This was no new beginnings, but I thought it was another really good offering from New Japan. I gave it 7.5 out of 10.